Alright guys, we're back with some more of the house in Fata Morgana. I know I say this a lot, but I can't say it enough. So I want to thank you all for the love and support you're giving this series. It means a lot to me. It really does, guys. Thank you. And right now we're reaching a crucial point in this game. I don't know if we're close to beating it. I feel like we are, but we're near it, guys. I feel like we are, and it's getting crazy. So I hope you continue to stick with me, guys, and see this through. So with that said, let's get to it. Alright, and we are back. Nothing would cause me to waver if my head was empty. A world without joy or sorrow sounds quite wonderful, but nothing ever went the way I planned. For the white-haired girl whom I thought I would never see again appeared before me once more. I was quite nearly in a panic. Beneath my perfectly practiced smile was a veritable storm of emotions. Faint hope flared up within my shell. Perhaps this time, Mikkel would remember me. But that hope was, unsurprisingly, in vain. Is someone there? Yes, I came by to ask if there was anything you needed. I cannot offer you anything extravagant, not like before, but I am here to provide you with anything in my capacity. I appreciate the offer, but I need nothing. Being allowed to stay the night is more than enough. Do you work here in the mansion? Yes, indeed I do. I have been here for a very, very long time. A very long time? You might think this an odd question, but have we met before? Something about you seems familiar. Okay, so now that question makes a lot more sense now. So I'm believing this white-haired girl, Michelle, reincarnated again. Not Mikkel, but Michelle. Which is why she feels like they met again, because they have. Unless she has a different name. And I get the feeling I have been to this mansion before. Yes, we have met. It was quite some time ago, though. When was it? It was wow, I can't say that word. Unimaginably a long time ago. Do you remember a boy and a girl with flaxen hair? Flaxen hair. I apologize. My memory fails me. Do you not remember me either? I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember anything this time either. But I will not be so pushy this time. I cannot bear to be so blatantly rejected again. I see. You should probably not push yourself to remember then. There were joyous times and there were less than joyous times. But would you be so kind as to answer one question? What might your name be? My name? My name is Michelle. White hair, red eyes, and the name Mikkel. So I'm calling it Mikkel. Is it pronounced Michelle this whole time? It's just that it's spelled differently. Oh man. I'm just gonna call him Mikkel so I can differentiate between the white-haired girl and Mikkel himself. Why must you continue to bring me pain? Why can you not set me free as you were supposed to? I see. So you are Mikkel again. Again? You should get some rest. I will make tea for you in the morning. Also, go on, close your eyes. The white-haired girl lay so quietly in her bed I could not tell whether she was asleep or awake. Even the sound of her breathing was too faint to hear. Standing over her, looking down at her, the locked-away despair and wails of lamentation I thought myself no longer capable of came bubbling back to the surface. But can you honestly blame me? I had been waiting for Mikkel for so long. She was the one thing holding me up. She was the only thing keeping my broken self from falling apart completely. Yet she claimed not to remember me. Did you pity her, having to go through tragedy after tragedy? But every time she showed up, she said she did not know me, bringing me more and more grief. I have been waiting for hundreds of years. Waiting for her for so long, my mind slipping away with every passing day. Waiting and waiting and waiting. My apologies. I have to be careful or I'll slip back to what I was then. If you weren't here holding my hand now, Tell me, you are Mikkel, aren't you? That's a relief to hear. Excuse me, guys. Yes, thank you. I'm alright. Do you think I'm as muddled as I feel? Let's return to the tale then. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know how much it hurts for someone you've waited for so long for to say they don't know you. You have no idea how much it crushes me. Rather than feel like this anymore, maybe I should just end it all with my own hands. I reached my hands out towards her slender neck. I was not an especially strong woman, but I thought even I would be able to suffocate her with relative ease. She was blind at that, so she wouldn't be able to run. However, that was the one thing I could not bring myself to do. I can't do it. I ran, and I ran, and I ran, though I knew I had nowhere to run, plunging myself into the mansion's darkness. I did not want to be there any longer. I did not want to have anything to do with her. But being an inhuman inhabitant of the house, I could not close my eyes or plug my ears to what had happened within its walls, as much as I may have wanted to. It didn't matter where I was. I had no say in the matter. I was forced to observe the events until their tragic conclusion. Twisted, bloody madness. Their wretched wails creating a whirlwind of misery. When it was all over, Morgana cackled like a little girl. Go on, you have a laugh too, my dear. There's nothing in the world better than this. He was a beast through and through, and what a fool he was to think he could become human. Ah, I love it. He destroyed everything he had with his own hands, and then couldn't even manage to mourn for it. Quite the unfortunate fate, wouldn't you say? Go on, laugh with me. Laugh with me, my darling devoted Giselle. Mikkel's dead too, though. You're worried about that tiny little detail. She'll show up again, of course, so you don't need to worry about a thing. You don't need to feel bad about any of this carnage. Rest easy, my darling devoted Giselle. If you say so, then I shall not be concerned. Yes, that's good. Laugh. Laugh, my dear. Oh, she's losing it here. I apologize for making you listen to my dreadful stories for so long. You must be quite wary of them by now. But worry not, for this is the final one. And despite being the end, it is neither dramatic nor exciting. It was a single phrase, the most insignificant of things, that caused me to completely lose myself and forget I had, long ago, been the woman called Giselle. There was no malice in it. It was but a simple greeting. Do you remember how the first time she arrived, Mikkel said I had a peculiar presence about me? She felt something there between us. And the second time, she said about me seemed familiar. She did not remember why, but her soul recognized the bonds we shared. So I assumed that the next time she showed up, she would feel something even stronger. Or perhaps even have her memories. Despite having been let down again and again, I still held on to the faintest glimmer of hope. But when she appeared, she was someone else's wife. Hey, head maid. Get out of here. I am right here, sir. Is something the matter? I figured you should get to know her as soon as possible, since you'll be spending a lot of time looking after her. Hey, get out here. Christ, there's not a goddamn confident bone in your body, is there? I'm sorry. I'll be right out. Me. The first thing she said when she saw me was, "It's a pleasure to meet you." It's a pleasure to meet you. What had I spent all that time waiting for? It was all for naught. It was all meaningless. In this era, she felt nothing at all for me. In retrospect, it makes enough sense. But for me at the time, that was the end. Morgana! Morgana! Cast me into the darkness. Make me formless being like you. I don't want to be here another second. I don't want to look at her ever again. Morgana! Morgana! Please, listen to me. I'm begging you. Now, what's the matter, my dear? It's not like you to throw a tantrum. I can't take it anymore. I can't do this. Mikkel again? Oh, you poor thing. Betrayed 3 times now. Morgana, you pitiful girl. Don't groan like you're having a bad dream, my dear. I am here for you. Please, Morgana, erase me from existence. If you go away, then I will be all alone. And that would be absolutely dreadful. But I... Tell me, what torments you so, my dear? What? Mikkel, whom I've been waiting on for so long, doesn't... Oh, you poor thing. You spent so long riding the currents of time that you've lost sight of yourself. What? You convince yourself that someone else's story is your own. Someone else's? Yes, indeed. It was such a beautifully tragic tale you fell in love with. It resonated so deeply with you that you felt their pain as if it were your own. What are you talking about? I wanted to tell you, my dear, but you were so convinced it actually happened to you that I couldn't bring myself to take it away. Then, what about Mikkel? She is not the one you are waiting for, and you are not hers either. Then, what about Giselle? That is not your name. Oh, is she messing with you now? That is your name. Then, who am I? Who are you? That's a silly question. You are this mansion's cursed witch. I'm the witch? That you are. You are both the maid and the witch. But how? Okay, so technically, I was right in the beginning when I called the maid the witch. Technically. Do you truly believe that someone who has eternal life, who doesn't bleed when they're cut, and who can smile no matter what happens to her isn't a witch? How much of this Giselle's memories do you actually possess, my dear? How clearly can you remember her life? You can't, can you? You don't know what kind of story Giselle and Mikkel wove. And you wouldn't because you were merely an onlooker. Much like you are now for this present tale. And by contrast, how much of the witch's story do you know? You should know it very well. Yes, but that's because you... No, my telling it to you is not the reason. The details are rooted deep within your memory. Then, That's right. You are the cursed witch Morgana. But you... I am you. You split into 2 because you refused to accept who you were. Think about it. Have I ever shown myself to you? Have I ever shown myself to anybody? That's why... I am the witch that you are. I see. It all makes sense now. Ah, everything has fallen into place. There's one thing I still don't understand though. This story I was so enamored with, Giselle's and Mikkel's story. What kind of story was it? I'll be glad to tell you. You look like you're ready to know the truth. I believed every word she said. All my worries melted away like they were nothing. Ah, so maybe I am wrong. I fell for the witch's stuff too. Her stories are very convincing. That is if she's lying to her right now anyway. The sight of the white-haired girl no longer kicked up waves in my heart. In fact, I found myself wishing for her to find happiness. I was an observer, watching and hoping for the best. The tragedy that befell her did sadden me, but I felt bad for her like I would a character in a story. I brought you your medicine, Master. Thank you. Just set it down over there. Yes? What are you staring at? My apologies. I was simply musing about how much time has passed. I can hardly believe it has been 40 years since you were a bright young businessman. And you haven't aged a day. Why, thank you. I am a witch after all. Well, I don't much care what you are. You could be the Grim Reaper for all I care. You still work harder than anyone else. May I ask you a question, Master? What is it? Why have you not returned to your homeland? I thought it was a place quite dear to you. I can't wait for her back there. Do you still believe she will return? To a degree, I understand how difficult it can be to wait. Though for me, waiting now brings more joy than pain. With your lifespan, Master, it will be the pain that wins out. Perhaps you should consider letting go. Tell me, was her name really Michelle? Why, yes, it most certainly was. Why would you ask such a thing? Have you forgotten your own wife's name? You have waited so long that it would seem like me. Some part of you has begun to break down. You poor, poor man. You know, you look a whole lot more pitiful than me. Oh my. She suffered worse, so yeah, you're right. Oh, there you are. What has you in such a flurry, my dear? You are a noble servant. You must maintain your composure at all times. But the master, what about him? He was found deceased in his chambers. The doctor just came out. He said it was his ailment, and it would seem the master knew that his time was short, for he left a will, asking not to be given a funeral. I see. I feel kind of bad for him, though. Not only did he not have anyone at his side for his final moments, he didn't want to be sent off at all. Isn't that sad? It is for the best. There's not a single soul in this world left who could send them off. With your era drawn to an end, this mansion will soon return to existing nowhere in this world. I wonder what the next one will look like. I wonder if misfortune will befall her once more. That would be quite regrettable. Perhaps, if I could convince her of her tragic fate, she would be willing to disappear from this realm with me. And if she wishes to fight that fate, perhaps she will become my next master. Calling her master seems inappropriate, but I cannot think of a word that fits better. I eagerly await the next era. Please do not keep me waiting for long, Master. Time pressed onward, and then at long last, you arrived. Oh, splendid! You have finally awoken. I've simply been waiting so long for this moment. Tending to the mansion all by my lonesome, ensuring it was ready for your return, Master, whenever that time may be. When I caught sight of you through the window, my heart fluttered. The time had finally arrived. Oh my, you do not know who I am? Do you not know who you are either? That is quite the predicament. Then how about this? I am a servant of this mansion, and as such, I am familiar with the many incidents that have taken place here. I shall show you the history of this house, Master. Let us be off then. And fear not, I merely entreat you not to let go of my hand. Should you hold it tightly, you need not worry about being washed away by the waves of history. No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. Ooh, so we're seeing it from her point of view now. No matter what happens, no matter what you see, never again let go of this hand. That is everything. I prepared a number of things to say when she was finished with her tale, but I can't manage to put any of them into words. I almost hate myself for thinking it would be so easy, for letting myself hope I could simply pull her back to her old self, accept whatever had happened to her. Take her hand in mine, and that would solve everything. The truth is so much worse than I imagined, so much more harrowing. She was subjected not only to her own terrible fate, but every single one of this house's tragedies. The tales she told me are things she witnessed with her own eyes. How can I possibly blame her for forgetting me, for forgetting herself, after so many hundreds of years? No, I should be. Why? Why didn't you come for me? Why couldn't I have returned before she was so far gone? Why? Why did you show up now? Giselle. Because you opened the door to my memories, now I now remember everything. But I didn't want to remember. I didn't want to be reminded of all those empty years. Years. I'm sorry, guys. Of the people who passed on, leaving me behind. Of you, who refused to show up no matter how much I begged. I'm not the Giselle you knew anymore. I may have my memories, but I cannot go back to that time. My hands are stained with blood. My soul worn thin. Gosh, my mouth sometimes. The girl who would laugh at the simplest things, who would tell silly jokes and wasn't afraid to speak her mind, doesn't exist anymore. That Giselle is dead. How can you say I am the same girl? How can you say I feel the same way I did? How can you be sure of that even now? How can you be sure that even now I still love you? Can you deny the possibility that I no longer yearn for you? But the white-haired girl? Can you deny the possibility that my love for you has transformed into hate? Well, I mean, I can't blame you for that, but I don't think I had any control about when I would somehow return. That's the problem. That's the tragedy of it all. She brings her hands up toward my throat, and I make no attempt to move out of her way. When her fingers brush against my skin, they feel as frigid as death itself, far colder than anything I have felt from her thus far. If she were to wrap her hands around my neck, she wouldn't even have to squeeze to stop me from breathing. This is the fork in our road. One word will decide everything. I don't have much time. I have to say something before the cold robs me of my voice. My only choice. Oh, I didn't get to press it. No! I didn't get a chance to press it. Oh no! I wanted to deny it. She may have forgotten me, but what she felt still remains, as evidenced by her attraction to the white-haired girl, who had many physical similarities to me. Her feelings are still there. I sincerely believe that. But her arctic gaze caused me to waver for the briefest moment. Oh, I didn't know I was being timed! Damn it! Perhaps I only wanted to deny it for my own selfish reasons. It was only a few short seconds, but those seconds decided it all. Farewell, Mikkel. She slides her slender fingers down my neck, then gently shoves me back. Giselle! I'm falling, sinking into my own darkness. I reach my hand out, but I cannot grasp anything. Her hand, the hand I held for all this time, is so far away. I try to shout, but nothing comes out. I can neither answer her original question, nor say her name. Down and down, into the infinite void. Darkness consumes everything. My voice, my hands, my very being, and her gaze. My consciousness slips away. Why? Why did I hesitate? Well, I'll tell you why I hesitated. I thought I could save. I didn't know I was gonna freaking... I wish I could have at least told you that I still loved you, even if you did not love me. I got a bad end, didn't I? Are you sure you really wanted to let him go? Yes, I am sure. I see. I don't think I'll ever understand. If you hate someone, you should chain them down and torture them for all eternity. It was the perfect opportunity to trap his soul. I do not hate him. Oh, is that so, my dear? After everything you said, I simply assumed. You know, I should have guessed when Mikhail had the quick, not the quick, when he said that he had but a moment to respond. That was the hint. That was the subtle hint. The subtle of subtle hints. Ah, okay. I could never come to hate him. I could never want to see him dead or tortured. Oh ho? Then why did you say what you did? I don't think you would understand. Probably not. I'm not particularly interested in understanding either. It doesn't matter what happened in the interim. In the end, nothing's changed, has it, my dear? You are still my darling devoted maid. With enough time, you will once more forget your name. What a wonderful world this is. Yep, I got the bad end, I guess. Ending 4. A moment of hesitation. Yep, that pretty much describes it, guys. Alright, we're going for the true end again, guys. Here we go. Give me a minute. Alright guys, you know what? On second thought, I'm just gonna end the video here for today. And then in the next one, I'm going for the true end. I assume it's called the true end. I'm not certain myself, but this time I will not hesitate. So thank you all for watching. This was an interesting part of the game though. I honestly didn't think they'd do that to me, and that was a shocker. So kudos to you guys kudos to you, the developers, for doing that, because you got me. So now guys, on to the next one. And when we do come back, I'm getting her back. I'm getting Giselle back.